Dr. Thavorn Thitthongkam, a name known in quieter circles, a man of science, a seeker of stories. Today, a new story began. King Khalid International Airport, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The plane doors opened, a breath of different air. Not the humid embrace of Bangkok, this was dry, warm, tinged with the scent of something ancient, something new. He walked down the ramp, his heart beat a little faster. Anticipation, the unknown. It's a drug, really, the best kind. This feeling, this is why we travel. The airport buzzed, a low hum of a world waking up. Or maybe it never slept. Hard to tell in these global hubs. Signs in Arabic, graceful script, English underneath, helpful. Dr. Thavorn moved with the flow. He saw faces from everywhere, a true crossroads. He clutched his small travel bag. Excitement was a quiet fire inside him. He had read about Riyadh, seen pictures, but to be here, to feel it, that's different, always different. He was ready for whatever Riyadh had to show him.
Immigration was smooth. A polite nod, a stamp in the passport. Welcome to Saudi Arabia. Simple words, but they felt big, significant.
He collected his luggage. The carousel turned, bags appeared, his own familiar suitcase, a small piece of home in this vast new place. He thought of the journey ahead, the sights, the sounds, the tastes. Riyadh, a city he knew little about, yet felt drawn to. He took a deep breath. The adventure had truly started. He could feel it in his bones. Outside the terminal, the sun was bright, brighter than he was used to. It painted everything in a sharp light. Cars moved, people talked, the energy was palpable. A driver waited, a small sign with his name. Dr. Thavorn smiled, a friendly face, the first of many, he hoped. He stepped into the Riyadh air. The heat wrapped around him, not unpleasant, just different. He was here, far from home and completely, utterly, wonderfully alive. The city waited, and he was eager to meet it. The car pulled away from the airport. Smooth roads, wide lanes. Riyadh unfolded slowly. At first, glimpses, modern buildings, palm trees standing tall, green against the sandy tones. Dr. Thavorn watched. He didn't say much, just absorbed. The scale of things, big, ambitious. He saw cranes in the distance, a city still building, still growing, reaching for something. It was a landscape of contrasts, old traditions, new money. The scent of ambition was in the air. You could almost taste it. The driver pointed out landmarks. His English was careful, clear. Dr. Thavorn listened, asked a few questions, simple ones. He wasn't here to interrogate, he was here to understand, to see. The further they drove, the more the city revealed itself. Mosques with elegant minarets, gleaming office towers, shopping malls that looked like palaces. It was a lot to take in, a visual feast, or maybe a visual assault, depending on your mood. For Dr. Thavorn, it was fascinating, utterly fascinating. He saw people on the streets, men in thobes, women in abayas, moving with a certain grace, a rhythm he didn't yet understand, but he felt a pull, a curiosity. What were their stories, their lives? He knew he would only scratch the surface, a visitor passing through, but even a scratch can reveal something true, something important. He hoped to find those small truths, those moments of connection. That's the real gold of travel, not the monuments, but the people. The city felt vibrant, alive, not in a chaotic, noisy way, but with an undercurrent of energy, a sense of purpose. Dr. Thavorn thought about Bangkok, its beautiful chaos. This was different, more ordered perhaps, but no less compelling. He was starting to get a feel for Riyadh, a first impression, like a handshake, firm, confident, welcoming. He leaned back in his seat, a small smile played on his lips. This was going to be an interesting journey. Very interesting indeed. He was ready for more. The Kingdom Center Tower, you can't miss it. It pierces the Riyadh sky. A giant, a statement, that distinctive arch. Like an eye looking out over the city, or maybe a bottle opener for the gods. Dr. Thavorn had seen pictures, of course, but up close? It's something else. The scale is immense. Modern architecture, bold, unapologetic. He stood at its base, neck craned, looking up, up, up. It made him feel small, but in a good way. A reminder of human ambition. What we can build, if we dare. Inside it was cool. A welcome escape from the sun's persistent gaze, marble floors, a quiet hum of activity, people moving, purposefully. This wasn't just a tourist spot, it was a place of business, shops, offices, life happening. Dr. Thavorn bought his ticket for the Sky Bridge. He felt a familiar thrill, the anticipation of the view. He loved high places, the perspective they offered, a chance to see the world laid out, like a map, but alive, breathing, pulsing with energy. The elevator ride was smooth, fast, ears popping slightly, a small sign of the ascent. He watched the floor numbers climb, higher and higher, leaving the ground far below. He wondered what Riyadh would look like from that vantage point. A city sprawling across the desert, a modern oasis, built on ancient sands. The contrast was always there, the old and the new, tangled together, inseparable. That's the story of so many cities. But Riyadh's version felt unique, sharper somehow. He stepped out onto the sky bridge. It wasn't just a bridge, it was a platform, suspended, high above everything. The air was different up here, a gentle breeze. The sounds of the city were distant, muffled. He walked slowly, taking it all in, the steel structure around him, the glass beneath his feet. It felt safe, secure. But there was still that little tingle, that awareness of being so high, so exposed. It was exhilarating, a moment to savor, before the view truly captured him. The view, that's what it's all about. From the sky bridge, Riyadh spread out, a vast panorama, endless, stretching to the horizon, buildings like toy blocks from this height, roads like ribbons, cars like tiny insects, moving, always moving. During the day, the sun glinted off glass and steel, the desert landscape framed the city, a reminder of where it came from, the power of human will, to build something so grand, in a place so challenging. It was impressive, no other word for it. Dr. Thavorn stayed. He watched as the sun began to dip. The light softened, colors changed. The harsh daytime glare gave way to a golden glow. Then, slowly, the city lights started to twinkle, one by one, then thousands, millions. Until Riyadh was a carpet of light, sparkling in the desert night. It was magical, truly magical. He'd seen city lights before, many times, but this felt special. The darkness of the surrounding desert made the lights seem brighter, more defiant, more beautiful. He saw the patterns, the grids of streets, the clusters of development, the dark patches that were parks, or perhaps areas yet to be touched by the relentless growth. It was a living map, constantly changing, evolving. He thought about the people down there, in those cars, in those buildings, each one with a life, a story, hopes, dreams. From up here they were invisible, but their collective energy created this spectacle, this breathtaking view. It made him feel connected, in a strange, distant way. He stayed for a long time, just looking, thinking, feeling. The cool night air, the distant hum of the city, the endless expanse of lights. It was a moment of peace, of quiet contemplation, high above the world. He felt a sense of awe, for the city, for its people, for the sheer audacity of it all. This view, it wasn't just a pretty picture, it was a testament to resilience, to ambition, to the human spirit. Dr. Thavorn knew he wouldn't forget this quiet moment, this canvas of lights. Section 5. Whispers of History, Al-Mazmak Fortress. From the dizzying heights of the Kingdom Center, Dr. Thavorn descended, back to Earth, back in time. Next stop, Al-Mazmak Fortress. A different kind of structure. Not steel and glass, but mud brick. Old, stoic. It stood proudly, a symbol of Riyadh's beginnings, the heart of the old city. He approached it with a sense of reverence. This was where modern Saudi Arabia was born. History breathed from its very walls. You could feel the weight of events, the echoes of a pivotal past. The fortress was solid, imposing, thick walls, watchtowers, a testament to a tougher time, a time of conflict, of struggle. He walked through the massive wooden gates. The same gates stormed by King Abdulaziz. The air inside felt cooler, quieter. The hustle of the modern city faded away, replaced by a sense of stillness, of history preserved. He touched the rough walls, imagined the hands that built them, the lives lived within these confines. It was a powerful feeling, connecting with something so fundamental. Inside, exhibits told the story, artifacts, photographs, weapons. Dr. Thavorn moved slowly, reading, looking, listening to the silent tales. He saw the spearhead still lodged in the main door, a famous detail, a tangible link to that fateful day. It made the history feel real, not just words in a book, but something that happened, here, on this very spot. He felt a deep respect for the courage, the determination, the vision that started it all. It was humbling. He spent a good while exploring the courtyard, the diwans, the well. Each corner seemed to hold a secret, a whisper from the past. He imagined the sounds, the smells, the daily life of the fortress, before it became a museum, before the city grew so vast around it. Al-Mazmak was an anchor, a reminder of roots in a city hurtling toward the future. It felt important, essential. To understand this place, you had to understand Al-Mazmak. Dr. Thavorn felt he was beginning to, just a little. The journey continued, to Diriyah, at Tarif, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the original home of the Saudi royal family. If Al-Mazmak was the heart of Riyadh's rebirth, Diriyah was its soul, its ancient genesis. Dr. Thavorn felt a different kind of anticipation. This wasn't just one fortress, it was an entire city, made of mud brick, now beautifully restored, or in parts gracefully ruined. Either way, it spoke volumes, of a time long past, of a legacy that endured.
Walking through Diriyah was like stepping into another era. The narrow alleyways, the towering mud brick palaces, the intricate geometric patterns carved into the walls. It was stunning. The scale of it, the ambition of its original builders, even in its restored state, you could feel the power it once held. A center of learning, of religion, of governance.
Dr. Thavorn wandered, lost in thought, imagining the caravans, the scholars, the daily life that once filled these spaces. It was a history lesson you could walk through. He learned about Sheikh Mohammed ibn Abdul Wahhab, his alliance with Mohammed ibn Saud, the foundation of the first Saudi state, here, in these very streets. The stories were compelling, the history rich and complex.
Dr. Thavorn appreciated the careful restoration, the effort to preserve this vital heritage. It wasn't just about old buildings, it was about identity, about understanding the present by connecting with the past. He saw families exploring, children learning. This history was alive, not just for tourists, but for Saudis themselves.
The afternoon sun cast long shadows, the mud brick walls glowed warm orange. It was beautiful. A quiet dignity permeated the air. Dr. Thavorn sat for a moment, on a low wall, overlooking the Wadi Hanifa. He felt a sense of peace, of connection. This place had seen so much, rise and fall, destruction and rebirth. It was a testament to resilience, to the enduring spirit of a people. Diriyah wasn't just a collection of old stones, it was a story, a powerful living story, and he was grateful to be a small part of it. After soaking in history, it was time for a jolt. A leap into the 21st century, Boulevard Riyadh City, part of Riyadh season. This was the other side of the coin. The new Riyadh, bold, brash, full of lights and energy. Dr. Thavorn had heard about it, a massive entertainment complex, a symbol of Saudi Arabia's transformation.
He arrived as evening fell. The place was already buzzing. A stark contrast to the quiet dignity of Diriyah, but equally fascinating. In its own way. Lights, everywhere. Giant screens, music pumping, fountains dancing. It was a sensory overload, but an exciting one.
Crowds of people, young Saudis, families, tourists, all mingling, enjoying the spectacle. Dr. Thavorn walked through the themed zones, each one different, each one vying for attention. There were restaurants, cafes, shops, concert venues. It was a city within a city, dedicated to fun, to entertainment, to showing the world a new face of Saudi Arabia.
He was impressed by the sheer scale, the ambition. He watched people laughing, taking selfies, enjoying the atmosphere. There was a feeling of excitement, of new possibilities. This wasn't the Saudi Arabia he had read about in old books. This was something dynamic, changing, evolving at lightning speed.
He saw a group of young men performing a traditional sword dance on a modern stage surrounded by neon lights, the old and the new, side by side. Not always a comfortable fit, but here it seemed to work, a celebration of both.
Dr. Thavorn found a quiet spot, sipped a coffee, watched the world go by. It was a lot to process. The ancient history he had witnessed earlier, and now this explosion of modernity. Riyadh was a city of layers, of complexities. It wasn't just one thing, it was many things, all at once. He admired the vision, the drive to create something like Boulevard Riyadh City. It showed a confidence, a desire to embrace the future, without forgetting the past. He felt the pulse of modern Riyadh, strong, vibrant, and undeniably exciting. A city isn't just its buildings, or its history. It's the people, the food, the music, the small interactions that paint a bigger picture. Dr. Thavorn sought these out. He ate kabsa, the national dish, fragrant rice, tender lamb, spices that danced on the tongue. He ate with his hands, as is tradition, shared platters, with newfound acquaintances, laughter, broken English, warm smiles.
Food is a language everyone understands. It breaks down barriers. It builds bridges. He found himself in a small souk, away from the glittering malls. The scent of spices hung heavy in the air. Cardamom, cloves, incense. He bought dates, sweet, sticky, the best he'd ever tasted.
He talked to shopkeepers, old men with kind eyes, young men eager to practice their English. They were curious about him, where he was from, what he thought of their city. He answered honestly, impressed, intrigued, humbled by their hospitality.
Welcome, welcome, they said, and they meant it. You could feel it. One evening he heard music, traditional Arabian music, the soulful sound of the oud, the rhythmic beat of a drum. He followed the sound, found a small gathering, men singing, clapping. He was invited to sit, to listen. He didn't understand the words, but he felt the emotion, the passion, the connection to a deep cultural heritage. It was beautiful, raw, authentic.
These moments. These were the treasures, the unexpected gifts of travel, the things you can't find in guidebooks, the hospitality. That's what struck him most. Genuine warmth, an openness that surprised him. People wanted to share their culture, their city, their lives, even in small ways. A cup of Arabic coffee, offered with a smile, directions given with patience, a genuine interest in him as a visitor.
It made him feel welcome, safe, appreciated. This, he thought, was the true heart of Saudi Arabia, not the skyscrapers, not the ancient forts, but the generosity of its people, their enduring spirit. He carried these encounters with him, more valuable than any souvenir. His Riyadh adventure was nearing its end. One last stop, King Abdullah Park, a green oasis, in the heart of the bustling city. He needed this, a place for quiet reflection, to gather his thoughts, his impressions. Riyadh had shown him so much, the ancient, the hyper-modern, the history, the ambition, the warm smiles of its people. It was a lot to absorb, a city of powerful contrasts and undeniable energy. He walked along the pathways, trees offered shade, flowers bloomed in vibrant colors. The park was peaceful, families picnicking, children playing. The sound of laughter drifted on the breeze. He found a bench near the lake, watched the dancing fountains, their synchronized movements. A modern spectacle, but here in the park, it felt calming, soothing. He thought about the journey, from the moment he stepped off the plane, the initial sense of the unknown, to now, feeling a sense of connection, of understanding, even if just a little. Riyadh had opened itself to him, and he was grateful. He reflected on the blend, tradition and modernity, coexisting, sometimes clashing, often complementing each other, Al-Mazmak and Diriyah. Standing proud, reminders of a deep heritage, the Kingdom Center and Boulevard Riyadh City, reaching for the sky, embracing the future. It was a delicate balance, a work in progress. But that's what made Riyadh so compelling, so dynamic. It wasn't a city frozen in time, nor was it a city that had forgotten its roots. It was both, simultaneously. A sense of calm settled over Dr. Thavorn, calm and a deep sense of gratitude for the experiences, for the sights, for the encounters. Riyadh had surprised him, challenged his preconceptions, and ultimately charmed him. He felt a quiet respect for this city, for its people, their resilience, their hospitality, their vision. As the sun began to set over King Abdullah Park, painting the sky in soft hues, he knew this first visit to Riyadh would not be his last. There was more to see, more to learn, more to understand. But for now, this taste, it was more than enough. It was epic.